I was born in the most artistic environment anybody can dream of. To be very, very honest, I did TV because I needed my identity. I was going to ZTV every day and saying, give me a half an hour slot. Then they said, what's your experience? I said, well, I'm born in this family. And they said, yeah, but so television really gave me the biggest thing of my life. And that is, I think, the identity of being
Right.
Durga and not being just a daughter and a granddaughter and so and so family. For one gharana, 3 members to be on one stamp, it's unique. Every maestro, every legend, expect their children to take forward the legacy by singing or playing. I think I have taken forward his philosophy. I have been told by my father, Sangeet Sangeet hota hai. It doesn't mean that only classical music is on a higher pedestal and film music is not. He said,
Mhm.
कहीं सुर में गाता है, आपके आँख से आंसू आते हैं.
Welcome to yet another edition of Thinkly Talks. We are in conversation with Durga Jasraj, someone who honestly doesn't need an introduction. Durga is synonymous with the first and perhaps the biggest musical show ever, Close Up Antakshari. She quit that to start Art and Artists along with Neeraj Jaitley, which is focused really on showcasing Indian music content to over 50 million people worldwide. As the daughter of the legendary Pandit Jasraj, Durga has carved her own path, her own niche, from performance in classical music to creating platforms that support young talent and aging artists alike. Through initiatives like the Indian Music Academy and, of course, the Pandit Jasraj Cultural Foundation, she's dedicated her life to preserving and promoting the rich legacy of Indian classical music. And with that, welcome to the talk, Durga. Honestly, a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much, Vivek. Really means a lot. Thank you very, very much for bringing me in front of all your audiences. And I think Thinkly is a great platform, and it's for people who are thinkers and creators. And thank you very much for making me part of this lovely universe of yours.
Pleasure's all ours. Durga, we're going to spend, I know you have a hard stop in around 30 minutes, so we'll try and double down. But just to set the context, you've had a phenomenal, multifaceted career. You've started performing at a very young age. You've been in television serials, iconic ones at that. You've co-hosted Antakshari. How did this early experience really help, shaping your perspective about art in general? And what made you pivot really, full time to classical music? If you could just kind of set the tone for the talk, and we can take it from there.
Well, you're digging too much in the past. I always say this is my past life. But the fact is, even much before Antakshari or much before television or performing arts, is where I was born, the family that I'm born to. Truly blessed and extremely fortunate to be Pandit Jasrajji's and Madhura Jasrajji's daughter. And
Mhm.
my mother is the daughter of the pioneer of Indian film industry, V. Shantaram.
Of course.
So the exposure of performing arts and creative mediums were at home, truly speaking.
Mhm.
And as children would go down to play, we were dabbling, and we were made to do things in front of the camera, or we were asked to sing songs in front of the mic, or do some recordings, and or even be part of musicals which my mother produced. So it was never an effort to actually be. It was a progression of sorts, and of course,
Right.
so doing riyaz at home, being part of many different mediums of expression. People call it oh, it's a film, or people would say it's a recording studio, or some would say, oh, it's a stage. But for me, I was just being myself, and I was doing exactly what I was being told to do. So
Right.
I was born in the most artistic environment anybody can dream of. Truly
Right.
surreal. And then
Absolutely.
when Antakshari happened, it was there was never any discomfort. And much before Antakshari and my childhood, I also did a lot of modeling thanks to Gautam Radhaksh. So
Right.
one had gone through a lot of phases before television happened, and television really gave me the biggest thing of my life, and that is, I think, the identity of being
Right.
Durga and not being just a daughter and a granddaughter and so and so family. It gave me my
Right.
distinct identity, which helped me in a very big way. And to be very, very honest, I did TV because I needed my identity. I was going to ZTV every day and saying, give me a half an hour slot. I want to produce Indian classical music on television. And then they said, what's your experience? I said, well, I'm born in this family. I know Indian classical music and I know film making and I know editing and everything. And they said, yeah, but so what have you done? I said, no, I know it. But that was probably not good enough. But then when this chance came by, I
Mm.
just grabbed it within, in like really 10 seconds. And I said, if people know me, they will listen to what I really want to do. And that was a big turning point. And so when it all happened, and I felt that it was good enough for me to pursue my dream again, I kind of willingly stepped back and started Art and Artist in 1999. So
Right.
from 93 to 99, I was dabbling with TV. I did Antakshri, which was a super success, then Chandrakanta, which is a mega success on DD. And I kept doing shorter series so that I had time to pursue my dream. So when I got my first contract in 98 of Star Plus to produce and direct Indian classical music series for international audiences,
Mhm.
I felt great. I felt like, okay, now this is the time I was waiting for, because in between my shoots, I would be waiting outside television channels, offices for 8 hours, 10 hours, and they would not meet me thinking that I'm trying to behave like a star. And, they just wanted to test my patience and wanted to see if I was very serious about being a producer. And yeah, I think I did passed their tests and waited patiently without any, any secretaries or bodyguards and things like that. I was waiting all alone, not one day, for months and months and months,
Mm.
and finally that day happened that they said, okay, we'll go ahead with it. So yeah, these are things which teach you, life teaches you, but to remain focused. And I'm very fortunate that even in this second phase of my career, in when I started Art and Artist, um, and I met Neeraj Jaitley after 10 years of Art and Artist. And then it just kind of opened up another kind of an era in my life.
Right.
And taking Indian music on mainstream media, taking Indian music on larger platforms and greater younger audiences is what we have focused through Art and Artist. And by grace of God, and thank God for that, we did see a lot of success in terms of audiences and everything. And after
Right.
my father passed away in 2020, in 2022, we were ready with Pandit Jasraj Cultural Foundation. As you may know, that to set up a foundation, everything takes time. So when we were ready with all the paperwork done and everything, so we invited the Prime Minister to launch the foundation. And to my again great fortune, and of course for Bapuji's sake, and he has also known our work for some time, the Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji. So he agreed literally in few minutes of making that call. And when
Right.
he launched the foundation, we were actually, I felt like we were moving ahead with bigger dreams, and literally with I felt like we really need to gallop. We need to speed up everything that we have done so far, because as of today, we've worked with more than 50,000 performing artists across India, all age groups, across all genres of music and dance. And we still feel we've only scratched some surface. And
Mm.
as you know, that I'm here to actually promote my father's festival, which is
Right.
upcoming. It is, of course, it's called Jai Ho Pandit Jasraj, because everybody associates this festival with him. So it's called Jai Ho Pandit Jasraj, the 52nd year consecutive, without a break. Pandit Motiram, Pandit Maniram Sangeet Samaro in Hyderabad. And my father, Pandit Jasraj ji, is known as Son of Hyderabad because of his unique contribution to the city. Because while he was alive for 47 years, he did not seek any sponsorship, nor did he ever sell any tickets. He did this festival for 4 days and 5 sessions with for thousands of people in a very grand manner, with food being served free and with a live dhaba, like
Wow.
literally like a huge place. And people would queue up, all the VVIPs and everybody, and say, this is Prashad. So these things are, I call this festival a living heritage. And so, yeah, we are here in Hyderabad right now and happy to share more information on that. I hope I've
Wonderful.
answered your
Lovely.
question.
That's a great backstory. I think you've really helped us travel through time over the last 20 odd years. And I think the one thing that really stands out, which you said that, it really doesn't matter, what your family is, where you're coming from. End of the day, you can't really get where you want to without, the struggle and the hard work. And I think that's a great message. May I say, especially to the millennials and the Gen Z on the pod right now, because success needs you to really double down and really work towards that. I mean, yeah, I think that's your, yeah. Uh,
True.
you've talked about, of course, the Pandit Jasraj Cultural Foundation, and you've talked about, the Sangeet Samaro that's up out there, right? Tell us a little bit about the backstory. I believe it started in 72,
Yeah.
and, like you said, for 47 years, Pandit Jasraj ji never really charged any money, right? I mean, could you just tell us about the emotions behind this form of commitment to kind of keep it going for such a long time? And also about something, I mean, if you could just touch upon, the kind of the musicians who perform, the kind of exotic venues that you've done it in Hyderabad. Would love to hear all about all of that.
Yeah, it's historic. This entire festival is it's a symbol of unconditional love that my father has expressed to this city. My grandfather, Pandit Moti Ramji, who was a court musician in the court of Maharaja of Kashmir,
Mhm.
and Nizam heard of him or heard him. I'm not very sure about that. But
Mhm.
when King George V was coming to Hyderabad, he needed a court musician. He did not have one. So he invited my grandfather to Hyderabad to
Mhm.
become the court musician. And that entire ceremony was supposed to happen on the 30th of November.
Mhm.
And family moved to Hyderabad. And my father was only 4 years old. This is in
Mhm.
1934. And my father, on 30th of November, the day he was to become the court musician of Nizam in Hyderabad, passed away in the afternoon. The ceremony was at 5 o'clock in the evening. And that and he had only two faint memories of learning singing from his father in Hyderabad. So he held on to those two memories so close to his heart, so close to his heart. He never let them die, and that is what we feel is the legacy. He went and found out where his last rites were done. It's of course, a crematorium, and he went and built a temple over there and called it
Mhm.
Samadhi. And and in 72, because my father, of course, artists are such that um uh, you are always hand to mouth. It's never really a very dream situation financially. So when
Right.
he never charged money to teach music, he only earned money through his performances. So when by 72 he felt 1972 that he could afford, he started to do this festival because he did not, as I said, he did not bring in any sponsors, nor did he sell tickets, because he felt that he should do it from his heart for his father. And so people started coming in, and the festival became bigger, and a lot of big artists, in fact, you name the big artists, and they have performed in this festival. And many great artists, great legends, have given their first performance in Hyderabad on this platform. So
Wow.
the history has become really large. Like of course, I was a child, and I had no idea, but I read Ustad Zakir Hussain saying in a interview here that his first public performance in Hyderabad was on this in this festival. Or I know
Amazing.
that I brought my friend Shankar Mahadevan to perform in Hyderabad for this festival, and when he later on went on to become a big star and a huge celebrity himself as a musician. So Pandit Ravi Shankar ji, of course, and MS Subbulakshmi, and you name the artists, Pandit Bhim Singh Joshi ji, ML Vasanta Kumari, and U Srinivas, and Dr. L. Subramaniam is performing once again this year.
Mhm.
So, so many big artists and young artists, have performed that it's difficult to kind of put a number to it. And it's also been dance. My father always said that please have one tabla or a percussion performance every year, because he started playing tabla in Hyderabad as a prodigy, and also they rarely got tabla solos. Of course, Ustad Zakir Hussain changed the entire history and the role of tabla. So, but yeah, so my father's tabla career started off when he was only 6 years old over here, and
Mm.
he started to become the support system for the family when he was earning through tabla. And also he has also mentioned that please always include dancers, because again it's very difficult to for them to find space and or a
Mm.
platform for them to perform. So there are many things, and ever since we have completed 50 years of this festival, this has become a 1 week festival, and we continue to keep it non-ticketed. Everybody is welcome. And
Wow.
I'd like to mention one person, because you won't believe, during COVID times, my father was in America,
Mhm.
and all through the conversations and everything, he's saying, "What are we going to do what are we going to do in Hyderabad?" Because none of us could travel. He was in the US, I was in Mumbai at home, and we didn't know what would happen. And I just said, August आएगा सब clear हो जाएगा."
Mhm.
And I don't know why I said that. And he said, "Yes, August आएगा और सब clear हो जाएगा." And he passed away in August. That was the clarity. That was the message that may have been there somewhere coming to me. And of course, we were all completely shattered and distorted and didn't know what had hit us. And we were coming to, trying to cope up with it. And while of course, the Prime Minister's office and all flew him down, especially to India in 30 hours, uh, while I got condolences messages from across the world, uh, everybody was, they kept saying the nicest things. And of course, he deserved every bit of that, and they meant it. That's the beauty. Jayesh Ranjanji in Hyderabad, who's a very accomplished IAS officer in the government of Telangana, currently the Special Chief Secretary of Industries and a great connoisseur of performing arts. He called and said that you must be of course, he paid his condolences, and he said, "You must be wondering uh, what would happen with the Hyderabad festival, knowing that how close this festival was for Panditji." And it hit me hard. I said, how did I not think about the festival? And it was only 10 days since he had passed away. And I broke down, and he said, "Don't worry. Panditji has done it for us for 47 years. We will do it now for him." And, that kind of changed the entire gamut. And it's a new, again, every festival, everything in life takes a new turn. It just transports the whole thing to another level. And while we were here, even during COVID, we were able to do a festival for 2 days live, which no other festival in the world was able to do. So it's surreal. And again, coming back to Hyderabad and the importance and the emotional connect, though he was born in Haryana, when we did his last rites in Mumbai, we brought his ashes to Hyderabad, dug open my grandfather's, the samadhi, and immersed his ashes with Ganga Jal, so that hoping that unifying him with his father, whom he missed dearly. Now it is our responsibility to keep his commitment going. So
Right.
even after he's passed away, we have continued to recreate his performances with live musicians. And it's a hell of a job. It's a creative expression. We cannot make it look gimmicky. And luckily, because it is such an honest effort, and by grace of God, it comes out as a surreal experience for people. And
Mm.
a lot of technical role of it, which comes to bring forth this experience of bringing his performance live with live performances, and it needs a lot of pre-production and rehearsals, and then people go live on stage. There's a lot of technical aspect also, which is very, very prominent. And Neeraj Chetli, very, I just happily put all the responsibility onto him
Mm.
of, making it, of coming together. You have to be blessed to be working with the best.
Mm.
So I believe in that. And I truly feel very fortunate that I have him as my partner. And honestly, um, a lot of credit comes my way for doing what I do, but some ways it's also my responsibility. But he comes like an angel, not really, not in a very flowery manner, but he takes most of the responsibility, works harder than me, and makes it all look very easy and a very, very memorable experience for the artists, for the audiences, for the production and tech team, which is again a huge number, and thousands of people coming every day, and of course all the partners who come and support this, patrons. It's a lot of hard work. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm happy to share that this is the invitation this
Right.
year. And in fact, this
Mm.
is the stamp that was released
Mhm.
this year. I
Oh,
mean, sorry,
nice. How
last year,
beautiful.
December, for completing this, for the festival, in honor of the festival, for
Mhm.
completing 50 years, consecutive 50 years. And Ashwini Vaishnavji, who's the Minister for Indian Post and Communications, he, kind of agreed to release it and everything. And we were truly honored and blessed that Amit Shahji, respected Amit Shahji, unveiled the stamp. And so this is unique because, A, of course, this is my father. This is
Mhm.
my grandfather, Pandit
Mm.
Moti Ramji, and this is Pandit Mani Ramji, who's my father's eldest brother, who was his guru, who taught him music, taught him singing.
Mm.
For three members of the family to be on one stamp, and for one gharana, three members to be on one stamp,
Mhm.
it's unique.
Absolutely.
I had no idea, sorry,
Mm.
how the stamp would look, and nobody can. In the Indian Post said we can't reveal it to you. It's supposed to be confidential. Even if the minister asks, we cannot. It is going to be confidential. So I was on pins. I said, they will put my father's picture, which is predictable, and they'll say, "Humne Pandit ji ke liye kiya," which is true.
Mm.
I said, if his father and his elder brother don't come on the stamp, they don't appear on the stamp,
Mm.
the battle, I mean, not the battle, but he will not be so happy. So I was really, really stressed. And
Mm.
when Amit Shahji unveiled it, I was in tears. I said, Bapuji, you made it. You made
Right.
it. Because, his commitment that all of them appear on
Right.
this stamp. And that's why it happened in December. And this is the first year after the stamp release. And that's why Neeraj said, we should make this as the poster of invitation. So, yeah, this is his idea. And well, these are some of the performing artists. We have
Right.
more than 160 performing artists, or 175 performing artists from across India for
Right.
7 days. And if you have any questions, because I can keep talking nonstop.
No, this is wonderful. Very beautiful and very inspiring. And I'm sure Neeraj is a great guy. I'm sure the support you must be getting, that you
Yeah.
talked about must be awesome. There are a couple of questions, you've been talking about your father, and there's a couple of questions from the audience about him, if I may. He says, Meera asks, how did Pandit Jasraj ji's approach to music shape your own style of philosophy as an artist and as a human? And there's another question from Anand. He's saying, how would you like your father's legacy to evolve in the coming generations of musicians? So maybe you could just answer it the way you'd like.
The first question is that, of course, he, as a person, as a musician, has huge impact on my being, and I truly feel I'm very fortunate and blessed to have to be his daughter, and I must have done some good deeds to be his daughter, no doubt. What impact? It's very difficult to find one aspect that, oh, this is where he's impacted. I feel whatever I'm thinking today, I would like to, in fact, quote him. About 15 years ago or 20 years ago, when I was already, doing a lot of work with under art and artists, he said, "I have understood now what you do for music." I think in many ways, he's saying ki you are doing it for music and not for yourself. You're doing it for Indian music and not for your own self. You're not promoting yourself, which I think I take it as a blessing because, every maestro, every legend, and nothing wrong in it, expect their children to take forward the legacy by singing or playing.
Yeah.
I think I have taken forward his philosophy.
Mhm.
Firstly, I have been told from by my father very, very in clear words कि संगीत संगीत होता है. It doesn't mean that only classical music is on a higher pedestal and film music is not. He said,
Mhm.
कोई सुर में गाता है, आपके आँख से आंसू आते हैं.
Mhm.
And of course, his references would be Lata Mangeshkar and so on and so forth. Or even, he would love even Kishore Kumar or Rafi Saab or Asha Ji, Manna Day. So he never looked down upon any genre of music. And that's why I'm so comfortable working with more than 350 different genres of Indian music.
Mhm.
Most of the people, most of the children of my generation, they were taught that, oh, classical music is on very, very high and it's pure and it's pristine and so on and so forth, and all the rest of them are lower. No, we never thought that. We had Kishori ji coming and performing at home. We had Shobha Gurdu ji coming home doing thumris. We had Shankar Shambhu doing kavalis at home. We used to have home concerts at home. We had a terrace, huge terrace, but no music was looked down upon. Everything had a spiritual side to it. And another very important thing is that you need to try every single day. You
Mhm.
don't just wake up to do your riyaz or that before or on the day of your concert or you don't try on your on the stage. That will flow eventually. It- but you have to try every single day, and that is something, because only then the God is going to bless you. And then finally when it happens, he would say, ना तो मैं गाता हूँ ना तो आप सुनते हैं,
Mhm.
गाने वाला भी वो है, सुनाने वाला भी वो है और सुनने वाला भी वो है. So we are
Beautiful.
nobody. After having worked so hard, that is what I would like to do. I would like to pursue and hope that I can live up to what his philosophy is. That eventually, when it all happens, you always feel, मैंने ऐसे किया, मैंने ऐसे किया.
Right.
No, it's
Yeah.
he who's doing.
Beautiful, beautiful words. Yeah. You know, obviously, I think over the years you've done a lot of adaptation. I mean, there's been a lot of use of technology. That's now streaming. All of this, the work that you're doing at Arts and Artists, and also for the foundation, right? Tell us a little bit about how you're trying to keep this festival very relevant to the changing audience. What should I say? Their preferences. And adapting to modern platform. In fact, there's a question here from Aman. He says, how do you find a balance between trying to preserve traditional classical music and experimenting with new styles? You of course said that nothing is higher or lower, but still, in that context, any thoughts on that? The technology and adapting to the audience preferences.
It's a good question. It's not, there's no easy answer and
Yeah,
there's no formula. You have to be very, very, you have to be authentic.
yeah.
Okay. You have to know that what you're doing to the best of your ability, be it even the curation part or
Mm,
creating part or
mm,
trying to adapt. You cannot say, okay, I'm going to adapt. It has to be a very natural progression. You have to be relevant in every, almost every single moment, not even day. You have to breathe. When you're breathing the same air as everybody else, you cannot say that, oh, this what I'm doing is superior. You have to
Mm.
kind of find yourself in thick of everything. So when I was doing Idea Jalsa, that's a very good example on television. Okay, so
Mhm.
when we were doing Idea Jalsa on television, we did about 145 or 50 episodes. Barring two episodes, we came number one on TRPs every single week,
Mhm.
beating even a repeat of Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, repeat of Telugu Tamil films, and even repeat of IPL matches.
Wow.
All that the only two episodes that we came second were when India was playing live cricket. Okay, which is fair. But the fact is, whoever imagined that Indian traditional music would be
Mm.
number one with eyeballs
Right.
on television? So
Mm.
there is no formula. You
Mm.
have to really dive deep to really pull out the gems or the pearls.
Mm.
So first you need to understand what you're doing, the purpose behind it, the approach will follow. Be very authentic, be very honest to yourself, be honest with the reasons that you're doing this festival or any project like Jalsa I said, or a Panchatattva or many other projects that we do. You need to understand what is the core. If you hit that core in your mind, body, and soul, rest
Mm.
will follow because you've been, as I said, you've been at it every single day. So it has to follow.
And what's your view right now in terms of the acceptance of Indian classical, to the global audience? Not just the Indian diaspora that's outside, but, to really to the people outside. In many ways, we could say that Bollywood has, of course, made its mark. Of course, Indian classical also has been there, but what would you say? Is it increasing? Is our footprint increasing? Are people able to recognize and appreciate the music better, or there's a lot more work to be done?
When was it that Bollywood didn't make it wasn't recognized for its mark? It always was. See, film is a larger than life medium.
Right.
It is not music. Music is a part of the storytelling.
Mm.
Television as a medium. When you compare classical musicians to Indian Idol or a Saregama winners,
Mhm.
they are winners of that show. They are not champion musicians as a soloist on stage. So
Right.
please, first of all, never compare mediums
That's
because it's worse example than oranges and apples.
Mhm.
It is dal roti and maybe something else. I don't know what to call, but there is no comparison.
Mhm.
People don't watch movies only because of music. If the music is great, the film may do well. But by far, the first reason for box office opening is some star. And the songs were a hit because of Madhubala's face, Aega, and
Mm.
Lataji's voice. That was the combination. Now look at that combination. That you cannot expect any classical musician or Indian musician to compare with, you compete with. So that is not fair. And secondly, I think the audiences are ever growing. To be very, very fair, younger
Mhm.
audiences are a better generation of musicians, connoisseurs who listen to varied forms of Indian music than the previous generation. There was
Mhm.
a in between generation which got a little disconnected, and I will again say it was the doing of Doordarshan, which did not produce classical music properly on Doordarshan. Air
Right.
India, sorry, क्या हो रहा है? All India Radio did a better job.
Right.
They got artists a lot of concerts. If the concert went off well, they lot of artists got a lot of concert. My father always said, "I'm a All India Radio ka artist hu."
Acha.
Because when I got a national program, a
Mm.
lot of people called me from across India for concerts.
Mm.
Doordarshan did not pay any attention. Tell me one thing,
Mm.
when such great producers and directors were given series to produce, like Ramesh Sippy got Bunyad.
Mm.
Ramesh Sippy had done Sholay.
Yeah.
You talk about any big series, it was being Ramanand Sagar did Ramayan, B.R. Chopra and Ravi Chopra did Mahabharat. Why was Indian classical music not given to some better producer and director who could
True.
have treated, who would have done justice to the medium and music? That is all I did with Jalsa. I did justice to the medium and music, and we got great TRPs. That is the time the damage to the image of Indian classical music happened in the real sense. And that was a big chunk of 15, 20 years.
I think that's a great take, really about and
It's a
about really about using the the format and really about doing justice to it. Because if you just kind of give it a very pedestrian approach, that's where the result will be, right? Uh, Vinod is asking that for this year's the Samaro in Hyderabad, which are the young and emerging classical artists which we should be watching out for? Any recommendation from your side?
Oh, there are hordes of young artists.
I know these are
Like,
always difficult questions to answer,
no,
but
no,
yeah.
but they are because you see, I'll just give you the schedule and I'll keep talking about their, you know, strong points.
Mhm,
On the first day, 24th, we start the festival on 24th of November, goes on till
mhm,
30th of November, the finale day when my father will perform. So 24th of November, we start with a Mewati prayer. Mewati prayer is dedicated to all the gurus of our Gharana. The creation of their creation will be sung by the students of the Mewati Gharana. So there are a bunch of fabulous singers coming from across India who will be presenting One Bandish,
mhm,
followed by Rekha Bharatwaj Sufi. Of course, she's a
wow,
fabulous singer and a strong performer and very, very extremely nice human being. I mean, a great combination of a fantastic musician and a fabulous person. 25th is when we are actually presenting a Pakhavaj duet of brother and sister, and they are
mhm,
powerful as hell. Rishi and Mahima Upadhyay. They are
mhm,
going to play Pakhavaj, followed by the fabulous, fabulous star dancer, Shobhana
mhm,
Bharatnatyam. She's got national awards. She was the original heroine for Bhul Bhulaiya also in
mhm,
Malayalam movies. She got national award for that, along with Abhishek Raghuram, who's a very, very young vocalist, but he's at the top already as a Carnatic vocalist. One of the greatest talents of India in his generation. On 27th of November, we start with Swar Sharma. He's my nephew, very
mhm,
young, one of the most sparkling rising stars of Indian classical uh, music. He's a fabulous vocalist, and he has that what you call thera and a
mhm.
fabulous fluency of how to unfold a rag, a very rare quality in today's T20 times, followed by the great star Marathi films has given, and he's the grandson of Pandit Vasantrao Deshpande,
Mhm,
the sparkling star of Indian music, Rahul Deshpande. He's going to perform. 28th, we have I yeah, 28th we have Chirag Katti.
mhm,
Again, very, very extremely talented sitar player,
mhm,
followed by Ricky Kej, the double Grammy
mhm.
awardee. Even this year, he just got nominated yesterday once again
Wow.
for his latest album. So he's performing on the 27th of November with his group of musicians who are again very, very bunch of talented musicians. 28th, we have that was on 27th, Chirag Katti and Ricky Kej. 28th, we start with Jasrangi. Jasrangi is a form of music which my father's created, where male and female vocalists sing together in two different octaves. The scale of
Mhm,
the music, the scale, the harmony is the same, but there are two different rags.
mm,
So that's a very complicated, sounds very complicated, but but musically for an audience, it's extremely attractive. And that this form of music of performance is actually drawing a lot of big audiences across the country and world. So
mhm,
this year we have the younger generation. They are the students of Sanjeev Abhyankar, who was my father's student, who was
mhm,
taught by my father. So literally the Guru Shishya Parampara. This
mhm,
is the fourth generation of Jasrangi, Vilina Patra as Sai Panchal, who are trained by Sanjeev Abhyankar, and they will be followed by Anu Kapoor, my host
mhm.
of Antakshri.
Right.
He's coming and presenting the um, everything he does is a big hit. No surprise, because he's one of the greatest legends. I mean, in all forms, a performer with abundant energy and abundant talent,
Yes.
rarest of rare, uh, great legend. And he's presenting Suhana Safar.
Mhm.
But the format is same. He wanted me to get more involved, but I said I want to be surprised. And he, the day I spoke to him,
Mhm.
he started rehearsing and writing a new script.
Wow.
That is how unique it is going to be. And he wanted to know a lot more, so I said no, I refuse, because let it be fresh in approach.
Right,
I didn't
right.
want to give any of my opinions or my thought process. So, but I'm sure the way he does everything so thoroughly, that
Mm.
everything looks so easy and
Right,
breezy.
right.
But there's a lot of hard work and great talent behind all that. So he's coming with a bunch of musicians again, with some fabulous singers and
Right.
musicians, everything to watch out for. Uh, then 29th, we have Arman Khan, who is
Mm.
again, he has some great star quality, young guy, son of Ustad Rashid Khan. We pay tribute to Rashid Bhai. He's been part of the festival for many, many years. And also, my mother learnt singing, and she belonged to that gharana, Rampur Sheshwan gharana. So, um, so it's going to be unique. He's young. Um, and he has been rehearsing again to bring in something very special, because he's saying, while you pay tribute to Papa, I get very emotional. I want to pay tribute to Dadu, and that's my father. So very sweet of him, very
Right.
energetic, very thoughtful. That is something, that quality you need to have as a performing artist, that you need to present something that is very special on every stage. And I think that he has it very naturally. And I truly appreciate that. And I look forward to his performance. And
Mhm.
followed by Tawfiq Qureshi, the
Mhm.
fabulous maestro of djembe, son of and disciple of Ustad Allah Rakha, younger brother of Ustad Zakir Hussain, but
Mhm.
truly the chip of the old block.
Mhm.
And he has made djembe into an Indian classical instrument, like Vishmohan Bhatt, and of course, much before that, Pandit Brij Mohan Kabraji made slide guitar a part of
Yeah.
Indian classical music, or even all the violinists. Violin is not an Indian instrument. Mandolin, mandolin is an Italian instrument. So all
Mm.
they have been brought into Indian classical music. So therefore, the credit of bringing djembe into Indian classical music should go to Tawfiq Qureshi, and the way he's performing, and has huge number of students and followers who are
Mhm.
pursuing that art is phenomenal to see that, because by doing that, he stepped out of competition with his great brother
Mhm.
and created his own identity. I think it's a very difficult task, very tall task, and I understand that very, very well. And he's also created a legacy in his life, which is, I think, very creditable. And it's amazing what he's done. After that, we have the uh, not so young, but a fabulous talent. Not so young, but yeah, still very young. Ami Subramaniam, performing with his great legendary father, Dr. L. Subramaniam, Padma Bhushan, Dr. L. Subramaniam, a
Mhm.
violin duet, Carnatic duet. So I'm so looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Electrifying, absolutely hypnotic, and
Mhm.
ethereal music. So,
Mm.
and um, truly, L. Subramaniam is one of my he's genius of an artist, and what he
Something else.
does to music by far is,
Mm.
you cannot describe. It's an experience to be experienced.
Right.
You're blessed if you experience his music, and just feel the love of it and the magic of it.
Mm.
And I think Ambi is truly a worthy son, and a student of his, to follow. He started following his father's footsteps as a kid, but I think he's become a young man, and but taking it extremely, extremely, from his soul. And there's something we don't talk about. Ambi Subramaniam, his mother. is from the
Mhm.
great family of Pandit Shankar ji. She was
Mhm.
his niece.
Okay.
And so imagine his, like I talk about my genes, and the amalgamation of my genes is very
Right.
troublesome. It doesn't allow me
Mhm.
to sleep.
Mhm.
I'm sure same something like that must be happening to him. And of
Mhm.
course, Kavita ji has come as truly as his godmother and mother in the real sense, Kavita
Right.
Krishnamurti. So
Of course.
he is also, really soaked in music right from
Mhm.
day one, much before that. So that is day 6, that is the 29th of November, and 30th of November. We are presenting my father's performance through a concert called Panch Tattva,
Mhm.
interwoven with a lot of great maestros, such as, Umakant Gundecha, the great maestro of Dhrupat, along
Mhm.
with his nephew Anant Gundecha, uh,
Mhm.
Akhilesh Gundecha on Pakhavach. Then we have Praveen Godkhindi, one of the most powerful flautists of our times of Hindustani flute.
Mhm.
We have Tawfiq Qureshi, Selva Ganesh, the powerhouse of Kanjira, son and of the great legend T.H. Vikku Vinayak Ramji. And Selva Ganesh this year also got the Grammy along with for the Shakti album, along with Ustad Zakir Hussain and John McLaughlin and Shankar Mahadevan and Ganesh Rajgopalan and Selva Ganesh. So I'm so happy that such great talent are being recognized, not just in India, but across the world. And so, yeah, he is power personified with his small drum, but he
Mhm.
can make everybody, run for their money. And tabla, we have Aditya Kalyanpur, who's again the student of Ustad Lara Saab.
Mhm.
Mridangam, we have our dear friend, the great maestro, Sridhar Parthasarathi,
Mhm.
whose playing is like water. He actually kind of dissolves in the entire musicality of anybody who's performing on the main stage. He's
Yeah.
performed a lot with my father, and he's been my friend for very, very long. But he's one of the finest and the most versatile mridangam player of our generation, along with my father's two students, Ratan Mohan Sharma, who is probably the most divine voice and has to his credit for being one of the highest spiritual music selling artists, whose Gayatri Mantra has sold maximum numbers in spiritual music, and also has a style of tarana which is unique, and Ankita Joshi, and Tejendra Narayan Majumdar, who's one of the greatest sarod players of our country. Senior, very, very senior artist from Kolkata, but yeah, very, very fine musician. He's a disciple of Ustad Ali Akbar Khan sir. So I hope I've covered the canvas. So there are a mix of young, old, everything, styles, genres, music,
Wow. Yeah.
parts
That
of
is
it.
that is one awe-inspiring lineup, I must say. Like, Hyderabad is in for a big treat in that week. Uh, how do we kind of get some of it onto, for people on this platform? You're going to be interviewing some people next week, and tell us a little bit about that, and any other way that we could collaborate with you deeper.
Well, I am going to try my best because sometimes more than them, I'm busier because to put this whole thing together is
Right.
quite a tall task. But yeah, we'll get some of my friends to come and talk,
Yeah.
and I'm going to pick up my phone. And I don't want to give my.
Just to feel the vibe of what's happening out there. Because even as you speak right now, I can feel the vibrations in my room change out here. The music that you're talking about, it just seems so exciting. So I think the just getting the vibe from there into the rooms of the people out here who are listening on our platform would be fantastic.
See, it's right now the vibe is, by grace of God, it's exciting.
Mhm.
You're nervous, you are praying, you're working, and you're hoping that just by grace of God everybody blesses us. The vibe is pretty much not what you would like me to say, because it's bit of everything,
Right.
it's
Mm.
but yeah, looking forward to this 52nd edition,
Right.
and from very, very sincerely seeking everybody's blessings. And I think I've spoken more than I was supposed to.
Absolutely. Just
More
before
than
you
an
go,
hour, I think.
I mean, just before you go, I mean, there's a small rapid fire that the team has put together. They just wanted me to ask you, and I'm just, just maybe take around a minute more. So the first question is, who's an artist, past or present, that inspires you the most? Can't be your dad. Anybody else beside him?
How can you say that? Can't be my dad.
I know that it will be your dad apart from him.
I actually would love to believe that music inspires me the most.
Hmm. All right.
And
Favorite.
grateful to my father and guru that he introduced me and helped me to love music more than idolize people.
Right. That's beautiful. Any favorite classical music piece that you listen to on repeat? You hum, you sing.
You wouldn't believe I can listen to Pushpa song also on repeat. So
Okay.
last year Sid Sriram had performed for us.
Okay.
And I told him, please don't sing Srivalli for me, but I love that song. But yeah,
Right.
so it's music, as I said, I cannot
Right.
differentiate.
Right.
And truly, I can fall in love with any genre of music at any given time. So some good music, just you listen to it and you love it. Even it could be anything, and so it doesn't have to have a definition.
One word to describe your approach to life.
Love life.
Of life. Go-to mantra before a performance. Any particular routine that you kind of go through whenever you have to kind of go on the platform?
I pray, we break a coconut, we leave it
Mhm.
to God. I touch the stage before I enter every time because you're a nobody. You're really a nobody. You're blessed to be there.
Lovely. And any I mean, you've already brought so many projects to life, but any dream project that you'd love to, bring to life, put together that you've been, wanting to work towards?
Any dream project? Oh, my continuous and mine and Neeraj's continuous pursuit to take Indian traditional music onto newer mediums and to newer audiences across the globe and across the universe.
That's lovely. Thank you so much, Durga. I know it's been an hour. We had kept aside 30 minutes, but thank you so much for the time. And really looking forward to this amazing, festival. And
Come to
let's
Hyderabad.
I'll
Come
try.
to Hyderabad.
I'll be back by then, and I'll definitely come to Hyderabad. And
Or
would love to kind of bring in the joy onto our platform. And really power to you and to the team, for immense success for this program. Yeah,
thank you and Jai Ho.
Jai Ho. Absolutely. Thank you so much.